But now we're back with Sheridan Bonner and all the young stars and really cool learning cars. The Formula First, the High-Q Formula First Championship. And we bumped into Billy Fraser coming onto the assembly grid. They say it's the dummy grid, but it's actually the assembly grid, because the motor racing drivers aren't dummies. And really rapt to get a breakthrough win for the season.
Yeah, afternoon, Clint. Yeah, Billy's absolutely stoked to get that first one of the season behind him. He says it's just a bit of a relief now, and hopefully he can go on. And as you say, the dummy grid and the assembly grid, this weekend these guys have been absolutely brilliant. So there's definitely no dummies out there. It's been so close yet so fair. It's brilliant to see. So
watch out for number 14, Billy Fraser. Also watch out for 19, Reece Hendl-Cox, who won the first race of the weekend. What's his lead at the championship now?
So he's got a 76-point lead over Chris Simon, and then another 39 back to Billy Fraser, who's they've closed right up on Chris after this round.
So watch out for 23, Brodie McConkey. He was around doing some TV for the High-Q Components Formula First with Geordie Peters. Gets off to a good start. P1 looks good there. P2 looks good as well. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout the Grand Prix. But Brodie was talking about what would be the challenge to send it. We said round the outside, down into turn 1, 4 wide.
Exactly. Fantastic stuff here from Formula First. Brodie's a real larrikin of the class, and it just shows they all are characters, as Reece Hendl-Cox leads Brodie into Splash with Thomas Boniface, the rookie. And our first race winner this morning, Billy Fraser, the fast lady Amy Smith from behind, and Liam Foster, who actually got a tardy start there initially, managing to clock up in the 6th spot there.
And as I said, well, I think all of the young drivers in this particular class, and even the old boys, doing a superb job of racecraft. And if you do get a chance to send it, Brodie, go for it, but don't blame us. He walked past. I suppose I'll have to do it now. I said, only if you get the chance.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can see some great racing from those two at the front. They've got a bit of a gap over Fraser and the rest of the field. And as they go onto the back straight, and you can see from the live stream, you'll see them all just in this big train of cars down the back straight. High-speed train, well over 100 mile an hour down the back straight. And hopefully we'll see an epic duel out the front.
Now they're starting to spread out a little bit, starting to make their moves. Welcome back to the live stream if you're enjoying the action here on Grand Prix Sunday, Manfield, Circuit Chris Amon. Beautiful, hot, sunny conditions out there, 24 degrees. The drivers are saying it's very hot in the NZ V8 utes. A lot cooler for these young kids in the 1200cc V-Dub Formula First cars. McConkey, Hendl-Cox, Fraser, swapping places as they'll do for these initial laps.
It'll still be a nice and hot work out there for them, the free air conditioning being the open wheelers, but pretty hard work out there for some of these guys. They're a bit puffed when they come back in, I can tell you that.
They've got power steering?
No power steering here, it's straight rack and pinion,
right,
all Armstrong.
You just take that for granted these days, that all cars have power steering, isn't it?
Exactly, the real race cars, we don't need power steering.
And it's like sometimes when it starts to rain, real race cars sometimes don't have the misters that actually work, or things start fogging up, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. These guys, they usually use anti-fog on their inside of their helmets for that sort of stuff, and they still have problems. But I'm just noticing now, Billy Fraser's actually closed back up to the back of them, so he's really, after that first win this morning, he wants another one.
So they're keen, they're lean, they're hungry, they're mean, young cars, and doing the big drafting down the back straight. Reece Hendl-Cox, he'll take McConkey. Billy Fraser will say, well, I'm going to try and join up, but Brodie moves across and covers that move.
High-speed trainer cars here, they're starting to form up. We're going to get some great racing as the build-up to the Grand Prix, and what a way to start with these young guys and some old fellas out there duking it out.
3 wide down into turn 1, that'll go down to 2, then they'll go back to single file. We saw some really nervous passing, and we're attempting to try to make those passes in the TRS race this morning. So what's going to happen this afternoon? But I tell you what, it's going to be busy, because they're all starting to bunch up again now. Through 3, round through to the hairpin.
Oh, Chris Simon running wide there through Splash.
One of them's off, 21, Liam Nicholson.
He's gone off at Toyota. We might have a safety car for that. He's in a bit of a dangerous spot there.
So the rest of the field will be racing down towards Higgins. Meanwhile, there'll be a yellow flag out down by turn 1. Nothing up around Higgins at this stage. So McConkey Fraser, Hendl-Cox, Foster. Down the back straight. Hendl-Cox moves out from under the draft. Trying to get the inside line against Billy Fraser. Billy Fraser working hard to go wide and try and get in behind both of them now. So Hendl-Cox has made that stick. McConkey just getting a few wobbles as they race off the ripples.
These guys have to think about this because there's a yellow flag at the end of the straight. They'll all have to think about it. It's double yet.
So they can't pass there. They've all got to just button up and back off.
Brodie's playing a bit of gamesmanship there. He's backed them right up, and because he knows that they can't pass down there. So they've got Liam Nicholson out of the car and they're going to leave it there. They're going to let the cars race. I can see all race control looking down at the car, and they're going to leave it there. Double wave yellow, so we're going to continue racing this great formula.
So that's going to take out the Brodie McConkey passing move. He doesn't have to send it down.
I'm sure he'll find somewhere else too.
Yeah, somewhere else. But of course that'll take out one of the big passing moves down the big long straight here, so that's going to potentially change the way in which they react and race.
Yeah, there'll be a bit of gamesmanship here from a few of these guys coming into turn one, that whether they woe each other up knowing that someone can't pass, and in fact they've actually withdrawn the yellow, so it's going to be all, I'll take all my words back, it's going to be all back on again.
Well, the last time they came down there, they all pulled out single file and start, right, let's look at and I looked up and I see the yellow flags. No passing, hold your position. So now they're trying to go for break down the back straight. Hendl-Cox has made the move, Fraser's made the move, McConkey's going to go out too wide, coming back round on the ripples. They'll keep it inside the limits, they won't be exceeding the limits. Now they're all back in the single file, they're going to look up and see no yellow flags, so it's an okay to pass.
Oh, Billy Fraser trying to go for a gap on Brodie McConkey, but it wasn't there.
And McConkey's moved over once, and he's moved over almost twice to sort of make it impossible to pass.
Making his car as wide as possible, Clint.
But you can only block once, really, can you?
Yeah, you can only move once, make one move down the straight, and that's it. And it depends on who's watching you as to how far you can come back.
So Hendl-Cox has re-grabbed the lead. 1:26 the latest lap time at the moment. 1:24.5 has been the best time. So it's Hendl-Cox, 17-year-old out of Whakatane, Brodie McConkey, young character out of the Kapiti Coast, Billy Fraser, teenager out of Auckland, Liam Foster, Thomas Boniface, Chris Simon, Ronan Murphy, 9-1 in the Speed Sport Scholarship car. How's he going?
He's going pretty well. They've dropped off the back of that pack, and so has Amy Smith actually. I've clearly missed that watching the race right out front, but Amy Smith and Ronan Murphy fighting there for 6th and 7th and 8th, going down the back straight as the front pack goes into Go Media in a bit of a train, and of course battles all the way down the field, little battle packs, which they're all fighting for their own bit of turf and having a real great time of it too.
3 wide down the straight. This is the big battle pack for the lead. In fact, Foster says, let's just make it 4 wide. This is how you go racing after lunch. Fraser down the inside, trying to grab the lead from McConkey. They'll be 2 wide. They'll all go 2 by 2, through 2 into 3. McConkey still holding on to the lead. Hendl-Cox coming back, Fraser getting swamped, and Foster falling back.
Oh, this is great to see, Clint. Like, these guys are absolute wheel, 4 wide down the front straight, yet no one touched. It's really great to see from these young fellas.
Ronan Murphy doing a superb job there as well, getting in front of Amy Smith.
He's now in front of Amy. They'll try and work together to try and maybe make up a bit of that gap in case there's a mistake from this front pack. But as they go down into Higgins, they fan out again, as you can see on the live stream there. Reece Hendl-Cox, he's trying to make a move towards the front.
So around the outside there, Hendl-Cox, McConkey.
I tell you what, you've got to watch out for young Thomas Boniface, the rookie there. He'll be looking to make a move as we're on the grass with Reece Hendl-Cox down the back straight, nearly 4 wide. And Boniface getting a watching brief, not sure really what he's going to do, but it's going to be McConkey leading through. They're 2 wide with Foster and Hendl-Cox out the back. Chris Simon's just behind these guys thinking, what are they doing?
McConkey, can he hold on to it? Fraser, Foster, Boniface down the inside, 4 wide again. McConkey's got swamped. Fraser says, I'll grab the lead. Foster says, I'll follow you.
Sorry, I'm a bit engrossed in this race, Clint. This is fantastic from these young guys up the front. We've got the rookie Thomas Boniface battling it out with these guys that have done 2 or 3 seasons now. Brodie McConkey, he's part of the McConkey family. His father raced back here through the 90s and 2000s. He's a very good campaigner himself. And Brodie, who's been bridesmaid, who's been 3NZ, he's up there trying to. He's not part of the championship factor really, but he just wants to make his name known that he can do it. And
fanning out in the background, you'll see Ronan Murphy, 91, and Amy Smith, 55, having their own little wee private little wee duel. As this 5-way scrap around Higgins just flows down to the back straight. 2 laps to go. She's all on. Now they're really gearing up for the slipstreaming and the drafting. This is where the red mist starts to descend with these young stars.
Now, if you look really closely as they come across the line for one more time to go, they'll flick the switch on the helmets, the brains will go off, and it'll all be seat of the pants. As Billy Fraser runs wide this time.
Has a look, comes back in, looks over. So it's Foster, last lap board out, Reece Hendl-Cox. Boniface pushing themselves, McConkey coming back in, Fraser trying to recover. Who's going to be in the lead going into that last corner? And then who's going to be in a position to try and swamp them? Look at them almost 1, 2, 3, 4 wide going into turn 2. 3 wide. 3 wide into 3.
This is the battle of who wants to go down the back straight first, Clint.
Yeah.
No one wants it. They all
want to be slipstreaming.
You'll see Liam Foster, he'll try and get a good run out of the heaven here. Reece Hendl-Cox up the inside, so this is where they'll be thinking, who's going to lead the front of the back straight? At the moment it's going to be Liam Foster.
So his challenge is you've got to try and break the slipstream, which is really, really hard to do. Boniface, Cox, McConkey, Fraser, all starting to position themselves. Hendl-Cox gets nicely in behind the leader, Foster. Boniface right in behind him. McConkey's there as well. Now watch, they're going to get their speed up, single train. Now they're going to fan out, spread out, and go for that last corner. Watch. Last chance to dance and grab it on the last corner.
Boniface has got the run.
Hendl-Cox, this is the reason why he's been leading the championship. He's grabbed the lead on the last corner, positioned himself beautifully. Now it's a little wee sprint down to the line. Boniface is going to grab second. Oh, what a finish. What a finish. Reece Hendl-Cox extends his lead. Thomas Boniface coming home second. Brodie McConkey held on for third from Liam Foster. And then it's Simon. Ronan Murphy won the battle against 55. Amy Smith coming home in 7th. Louis Radshaw in 9. Ron Carter in 10. Then the rest of the field coming back down. Once again, the high Q components turning on a great display of controlled aggression from young kids and cars.
How's about that a way to start the afternoon before the Grand Prix?
Yep, they've been fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
That's why we all of us here that are a part of the Formula First class absolutely love it. The close racing, absolutely nothing given, absolutely nothing taken, but afterwards we can all shake hands, have a bit of a laugh about it, and it's really awesome feel down the pits when everyone's in such a tight-knit community.
So when's the next round of your championship?
So we're actually back here in 2 weeks with the IRC meeting, and we were joined by the Formula 1600, so it'd be good to see the two open wheeler classes racing on the same weekend again. And then we join back up with Speedworks at Hampton Downs 2 weeks after that. Brilliant.
We will look forward to another fantastic display of open wheeler racing. What's your thoughts as we count down to the 64th running of the New Zealand Grand Prix? It's great that Kenny Smith's there, number 48.
Isn't it?
Leach, Armstrong, Lawson, 3 points between the two Kiwis going for the title.
Isn't it great? I mean, if 77, I could be still racing Formula TRS. You wouldn't pass that up, would you? But if I was to put my money on it, I'm going to have to go with Liam. I might be a little bit biased because he used to race with Sabre Motorsport and did the Speed Sport Scholarship. But I'll put the money on Liam.
Rookie of the year,
and he was with Jonathan Morton as his engineer. And talking to Jonathan, he reckons it'll be Liam for the Grand Prix and Liam for the series.
Well, that's, Marcus is going to be right there. So they've got the advantage at the start, so that's going to be absolutely crucial. Lucas Howe, though, he'll be, he can't win the championship. Only the two Kiwis can win the championship, but he can certainly go for the Grand Prix.